Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a non-bingo-y rack, but I think it's too good to change. I've got a lot of scoring tiles, C, M and 2 Ys. I'd like to get rid of all of them, or at least 3. I can do that with Mercy. I think I'll struggle to get rid of both Ys. But I do have the ERY ending. Y tends to appear at the beginning and ending of words. But if I can get Mercy down, the rack leave of IY should be reasonable. Great, 5 floaters to consider and no bingo from opponents. Now craved is good, so I do have Mercy in column 6, but let me briefly consider if I've got a bingo. Not seeing anything. No, and do I have anything better than Mercy? No 2-letter V words, so that hampers parallel plays. What about the D? If I can play in column 11, the play will get doubled. Well, I have Cidery, keeping MY. 24 points. Mercy 26, MY or IY. Well, I think MY, because I think opponent will score less after this play. And MY is a 2-letter word, so it should be easy to sort out. Is there any way of extending this to a double-double? No, I don't think so. I'm going with this. Oh my word, both blanks. That's an unexpected treat. And no duplicates in the remaining tiles, so there certainly could be bingos here, but they're going to be jolly difficult to spot. U often goes with N, to make a word begin UN. But I'm not seeing anything. If one of my blanks were an F, I would have the IFY ending with hum and blank. So what about the floaters? C goes well with H. Now I would have humidity through a D, an I, or a T, none of which are currently available. And opponent doesn't provide any new floaters. So I'm just wondering if Cidery takes a front hook. Well, I'm not really wondering that, I'm just satisfying myself that it absolutely doesn't. Yeah, it's acid E, which is good. So the R looks the most likely floater. Any such play wouldn't even get doubled. How can I get value from the C? So a play ending in H. Well, not anything that gets doubled. I'm just thinking about a non-bingo. I'd like to play off as many non-bingo-y tiles as possible. And I'm not seeing anywhere. Lou takes a D at the end and an A at the beginning. I have neither. Let me briefly run through the alphabet, keeping in mind A and R as bingo floaters. So C looks like a useful letter. That's my humidity rack. I would have fish as part of a word. This is the if-y ending. So nothing so far. A and R with this rack. Well, is humanify good? I don't think it is. So I've got human with I-Y blank. Humanity. Wow, I have a bingo. Fantastic, because I was seeing no decent candidate non-bingos. So I have humanity through the A. Let me quickly finish this exercise. I think it's only if a play began or ended with an A that it would be better. QU. Vamique is good, that doesn't use a Y. And physique doesn't use an M. Okay, so not seeing anything. Let me get humanity down. 468. Fantastic, a nice pick. I've got the Z, which is almost always a welcome sight, and I've got no duplicates. And humanity has given me a 60-point lead. And opponent changes. So what can I do with my Z to extend my lead? Now I have bants on my rack. That's one of the new words. Well, that plays next to this Y, but it's not a good play. So it could play through the T of humanity, but putting an A under this triple letter square, and only 30 points. Zobu is good. I've got an A for Alu. I don't have anything to go in front of raved. 14 minutes on my clock, so these opening moves are taking a while. What about a play onto the Y? Botany, keeping F and Z. Bants for 30. I do have an F and an O for playing of next turn. I'm taking out 2 bingo floaters. Is this the play? 30 points isn't terrible. Not seeing any ZOU plays. What about the H? Oh, well, I have Azoth. 34 points, but keeping B and F, so I think Bants is better, plus 2 premium squares next to vowels. C not available. Yeah, I'm going with Bants. 430. Wow, duplicate G, duplicate T, not great, but my lead has extended to 90 points. I've got a spot for the F, but I can't do anything about my duplicates in that spot. Unless I play vertically, a play of faggot. But that's quite volatile, and my lead isn't, although it's good at 90, isn't out into the distance. Opponent can still catch me. Still a lot of tiles to come, 63. And only 12 minutes on my clock, so I'll try and pick up the pace a bit. Some of these opening moves have required attention. Now, G goes in front of raved, so I could play fog. That's quite nice. If opponent, well, I was contemplating on the merits of playing faggot, but that's been removed by opponent. 22 points. Only an O on my rack goes underneath Zo, so that's no use. A double T is good, but I don't have anything. So, what I had in mind was fog for 26. Yeah, and I'm not seeing anything better in that spot. Wow, I draw an S, and we can see the remaining tiles, and this is the first S. And I think Gestant is good. Does that play anywhere? I don't think it does. Fortunately, the board is nice and tight, which helps me to preserve my lead, but it does mean that I suffer when I have a bingo which doesn't play. I don't think Gestant has an anagram. And there are no floaters on this board. Wow. Is opponent going to open the board? Through an A, I would have stagnate. Row M is a bingo lane at both sides of the board, but my bingo doesn't play in either. And column 12, just about a bingo lane, consonant followed by 2 vowels. Now, I would have tentages and possibly netages through an E. My G can go above AT, as could my F last turn, so the of spot remained available, but I had double G, double T, so I don't think I could have played either of those in that spot. But it would have been 31 points, 5 more points. But playing off the G out of double G, double T, definitely worth more than 5. Oh, fantastic. What a magnificent play by opponent. Look at this. Gestant for 84. Bang! And that gives me a 150-point lead. So, what do I have now? Well, pretty grim rack, but surely it's good enough to see this game out. How much did Quit score? Just 33 points. Fantastic. So what am I going to do with this rack? W and U, one of the worst 2-tile combos. Slightly helped with the introduction of uwu, a foreign word meaning cute. I certainly want to split up U and W. TU not good, so I don't have a QU play. Do I have anything which goes under ZO? Zol. So I think I have Lurgy keeping BW. But I'm reluctant to play that since I think it takes an S. Not many opportunities on the board. What about the left-hand side of row M? What goes after AT? Well, nothing on my rack. Wat is good. Oh, but neither of my vowels goes above the B. Now opponent's played Rav, and Rav takes a G, which I have. So I have grub in this spot, keeping ILW. 22 points, it's decent. I'm pushing any bingo into row N, which is where I want opponent to bingo if they are going to bingo, because any play in a penultimate row or column provides access to triple word squares. The other point of grub is that it sorts the rack out. With the 4 problem tiles of B, U, G, W, grub plays off 3 of them. So grub for 22. Well, let me just pause because I have bug. Yeah, nothing better. Great, I draw another S. Again, no duplicates. Sometimes you have games where you have duplicates and triplicates on almost every rack. It's immensely annoying. But I'm not experiencing that in this game. Now, UW has reappeared, which is a shame. But if I didn't have UW, the rack lever rails is pretty promising, albeit on a non-bingo-y board. Gestant takes an S in front of it, as well as vowels above and below. Could there be a bingo here through the right floater? It's possible. And is there any way of playing off U and W? I have oo in row L and row E. Row L I don't like, even though U isn't a particularly useful tile. I think a triple is opponent's only way back into this game. Or their best route back into the game. I lead by 140, but if opponents had 3 back-to-back bingos, the complexion of the game would be different. Now, Vatu is good and NOW, but I don't have any plays with U and W next to each other. Opponent down to 11 minutes and 10 on my clock. So I do quite like Uwu. It gives nothing away. Rack lever is tremendous. And Zoes is good, so a bingo beginning with S would play on both sides of the board, top and bottom. One H to come for CH. Now opponent plays allowed, which doesn't take any hooks, but D is a bingo-y floater. Yeah, I can do this. I can do wood, which again pushes bingos into the penultimate side of the board. It reduces opponent's ability to make a big play in row L or column 12. And W takes an E after it. If I draw an E, then column 14 is a bingo lane for bingos ending ES. I'm going with this. Well, I do draw E's. I do draw 2 of them, so I have realize in column 14 and earlies, and earlies in rows B and D. Fantastic. That has certainly worked out. So earlies and realize. Any other 7s? Interesting, I feel there is. Or are. Earlies takes P and Y in front and a T after. Yeah, I'm not seeing a third bingo, but there could be one. And not many floaters on the board to consider. There's the G of Gestant. So Gasselia is the bingo there, but that doesn't play. Great. Just 20 points for opponents. So is earlies the play? I have that here. If I played it in row B, beginning above the N, I think it's too hot of a spot. A lot of tiles go in front of EN. And if I played it one square to the right, then I'm providing access to 2 triple word squares, including a triple lane. And if I play in row D, I'm creating a triple lane. So overall, I think this is the play. I am getting value from the W to compensate for the fact that the play isn't getting doubled. And only an E can go next to the R, which reduces the danger of column 15. So I am going with this. Great, that's a pretty good set of 7 random tiles, good scoring tiles, plus another S. So I had both blanks, and I've had an S for Gestant and Earlies. And for each of those power tiles, I have bingoed, which shows how useful they are. So my lead now, 160 points, nearly double opponent's score. Just 23 tiles in the bag. Now, could I have a bingo here? Well, through an R, I would have hectares, just 1 R to come. Takahis is 2 A's, 1 E. Yeah, I'm not seeing a bingo here. But there could be one. So how can I get value from the H and the K? The H can go next to the C. But I think the best I can see there is ETH, E-A-T-H-E. Quite wrecking. What about row B? Do I have any SK plays which get doubled? Don't think so. Just 22 for opponent. Fantastic. So I haven't really paid attention to column 15. Let me do so now, because I do have an E for going next to the R. I haven't seen anything yet. But H can go here, E can go here. A can go here. T can go here. Yeah. There's no spot for the K in column 15, unless it began above the E of Earlies. Yeah, heat for 40 looks pretty decent, and the rack leave is good as well. So well, it is. N-Skied is good. I have that in row B. Oh, and nearly in row N. Grubs is good, but PIK isn't. Now, nice bingo for opponent. They blocked my bingo. EST is good. However, N-Skied doesn't play, and my lead now just 100. But I'm still confident I can win this game. Anything with a G. 7 minutes on my clock. No. Zoa doesn't take anything. P doesn't take anything, so if I play in row A, it's got to end in E. So I have Dink in column 15, getting the K doubled. 42 points. What about a play in row A? What about desk? What about... Ooh, I was trying to preserve my S, but I don't think I can. 60 points. That's pretty handy. And vowels improve in value in the end game, which we're approaching. What goes in front of I? Only a K, and I want that in the corner. And nothing ends DK, so I think this is the play. 60 points. Wow, I have trainee in row A and EST. Do I have anything with the G? Gratinate, interage, and energite, the bingos. None of those work. I don't have an S for grub, so row N, not a bingo lane for me this turn. Only one E to come, so row A might remain available. And I have two bingos there, trainee and retinee. Doff has taken out row D as a bingo lane. Wow, 60 points for desk. That was pretty handy. Extends my lead to 160 points. Now, are there really no other bingo lanes on this board? I don't think so. Well, I've certainly had a very kind run of tiles in this game. But that happens, and one should enjoy it when it does. Now, what if opponent cruelly blocks my bingo? Well, I have no scoring tiles, so I'll struggle to score. USE is good, so I could play earn. 19 points. Not many. But I'm going to struggle to score more than 20 with this rack. Unless I can get value from some of the scoring tiles on the board. Z not in a good spot. QI is good. But the best I can do there is chin for 16. Might be worth considering. 6 minutes on my clock and on opponents, so both of us making use of our time in this game. Very few floaters on the board, just the G, and no pairs of letters to contemplate 9-letter words, which are always good fun. What else am I missing? Nothing goes between C and OE. Now, has opponent played? No. 5 tiles in the bag. Still the J and the X to come. An opponent could have a lot of O's. Now, what's happened? Cox for 36. Interesting. Cox takes an A. Oh, I've just remembered a third anagram. I have Arenite for 87, which is a lot more than the row A play. It does stick a vowel under this premium square, but only an M can go there. So I considered trainee and retinee because they ended in E. But what else is available? Is it just Arenite? Well, it might be. Anyway, this is 87 points, and I'm going with it. And I draw NO, and I'm over 500 points, which is always good fun. So, 5 minutes to find the best spot for N and O. I don't think opponent is bingoing with their rack. So I'm going to consider the acrosses and then the downs. So I have no and on my rack. So on, low, and den for 8. No and go for 5. Hon for 6. Surely there's something for a little bit more. Toy on is good, but I'd like to play off both tiles. Neo, not good. I have one, yow, and news, the plural of the Greek letter. Surely that's going to be best. 22 points. Wow. Aronite doesn't take anything in front. Well, a bit of a ropey week last week with the missed. what was I going to say? The misplay, not bingo, the misplay of Jivia and the eternity that it took me to find hankies. But I feel this game has been a lot less ropey. But we won't know until the analysis happens. So what if one is blocked? An opponent could put the J there because JUS is good. Opponent's got Gene. Oh well. So let me consider the down possibilities for O and N. That O not good. Yeah, I have on, un, and ho for 9. Keno for 9. So I think 9 is the best I can see if 1 is blocked. No and odd for 7, and it is painful. Okay, so what about 1 here? 11. Wow, fantastic. Okay, I am going with this. And the final score, 345 for opponent, 541 for me, a winning margin of 196 points. So a huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a fantastic game. Very rip-roaring. Now, it was opponent to go first. They played Raved. Mike, that leaves a nicer rack leave than the one I managed. What do? I play Cidery for 24. Mike for 28, F6. Mike and Craved, yeah, leaving alone this access to these double word squares. So I think it's difficult to compare those moves. I don't think they're very far apart. Opponent certainly struggled to play after Cidery, which was partly the attraction of the play. Now look at this water pick. So, oh, Euthymia, where's that? On to the A. Pythium, G2, and Am, Humanity, which was my play, and Cyathium, again through the A. But Euthymia, certainly the pick of the bunch. Well done if you spotted that. And then the alternative non-bingo plays all burnt 1 of the blanks for not very many. Now, opponent's rack. They change. Ooh, Bonza K10. Where's that? Ah, Bonza and Bai, getting the Z tripled, but putting an A in the middle of row O. I played Bance for 30, keeping Fot, so I sacrificed 13 points, keeping a slightly better rack leave and avoiding opening row O. Yeah, I quite like my play, but I don't think Bonza is a terrible play. F11. Cobsa does the same thing, tripling the Z, but opening column 15. And even if Bonza and Cobsa simulate better than Bance, it is always the case that Bonza and Cobsa are a more volatile play. And I think when you've got a lead, the less volatile play is more attractive. So I like my play. Opponent's rack. They play Toyo. Now I play Fog for 26, and there's the OF play for more points but keeping duplicates, so I like my play. Opponent plays Quit, and look at this. I have got Gestant for 84, so a dream scenario. Opponent's rack. They play Rav, and I have... Interesting. I have Grub, but it's not Grub and Grav. It's Grub, Vatu, and Knob for 25. So 3 more points available there. opponent's rack. They play allowed. And I play wood for 7, which doesn't appear here. I'm sacrificing points in order to retain the really good rack leave of AILRS. And you can see most of these suggestions here. Wreck the rack and keep the U. But they may have been worth doing because I did sacrifice over 20 points. So L12 whale, opening up a triple lane. Yeah, that can't be good. A triple is definitely one of the routes for opponent to win. So I do like my play. The opponent plays pie, and now I have these bingos, and I think this is the best, even though it's 4 points less than the highest scoring one because it doesn't open really hot scoring spots. Now opponent struggling with vowels. Struggling 4 vowels, plays Dolph. I play Heat for 40, keeping the S. I could have got 19 more points with Heast in the same spot, but making wet and use as well. Yeah, probably would have been worth doing. Now, great bingo find by opponent of Spleeny Eye, taking out the bingo that I'd spotted. But I have desk for 60, so that was a small comfort. Now, opponent plays Cox, which was fantastic because it gives me Aronite for 87. Yeah. So, 200-point lead. Opponent plays G, and I go out with 1 for 11. So, wow, what a fantastic game. An amazing early draw of both blanks, and humanity goes down. And it was just a fairly easy game, although I did use a fair amount of time. I think that a lot of that was spent at the very beginning. And I was certainly fortunate as well to get Jestant and Aronite down for such big scores, and also the desk for 60 points. But nice games like this do happen in Scrabble, and they are enjoyable. So many thanks to opponent for a good game. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.